Oh my god, this hand is so pretty. Okay. Hi, so today we're going to be looking at a couple of mermail combos, specifically using Tidal, just to kind of give you an idea of how to play this deck moving forward. I'm not saying this is the matter-of-facto way of piloting it, but I'm just saying this is an option you could choose to play. Now I'm saying, should you play it? Not necessarily, but could you? Absolutely. So there are a couple of things that this deck can do well that other decks cannot do, and I'm not going to go ahead and spoil all of my secrets just yet because this is a work in progress list. But what I will be doing is kind of showing you guys the guidelines of things you can do, and I think that's pretty cool. So what we do have to start off with is two different combos, one of them featuring Tidal and Dragoons, the level 7 water discard plus Dragoons, and next one we have something a little bit different that some of you guys might not know is equally as cool, is Stream Dragon Ruler Droplets with Dragoons. Now if you guys like this video and like to see more, please consider subscribing. Not for any other reason, I just like the numbers going up. Let's start with the first combo. I'm just going to go ahead and fish the cards out of the deck. Now these Deep Sea Arias are just going to be placeholders for the remaining 3 cards in your hand. Both of these combos are going to be 2-card combos. It's not too convoluted, so it should be easy to follow. So what you're going to do here to start off with is use your Tidal effect, which is going to discard itself plus your Dragoons. And this is where your combo is going to start to make a whole lot more sense. And you're going to see as soon as with the card I'm going to send to the graveyard using his effect. And that card is going to be this guy, little bipolar frog. Next, we're going to use Dragoons' effect to search for the Diva and add that card to our hand. I still can't believe this doesn't have an ultimate rare or a quarter century rare or a starlight or even a ghost rare. One can hope and pray, please. But we're going to normal summon the Diva. Hella inspiration for the pin, by the way. And we're going to use Diva's effect to summon an Neptibus from our deck. This name doesn't look right, so I'm just going to use the other name, Gotta be good like that. I don't know. Next, we're going to use Neptibus's effect. This card was printed almost 9 years ago. That's kind of insane that this was the best card Water got since then. Anemone's pretty good as well, but nothing really beats the Atlanteans, which are searchable. So we're going to use Neptibus's effect to dump a copy of Dragoons, to add a copy of Dragoons. That's going to put us with 4 Waters engraved, so you definitely do not want to summon a Link 2. That's going to kind of mess with plans. So what you will do is actually link off the Neptibus. And because Link Karibo is banned, rest in peace, never forgotten, we're going to summon our only other option, which is... And then we're going to go ahead and link summon Relinquish Anima, thus putting 5 Waters in our grave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Waters in grave, Diva, Anima, plus a Moulin Glacia. And then from here with 5 Waters in grave, we're going to go ahead and special summon the Moulin Glacia from our hand. This is kind of what our field's supposed to look like. We're going to go ahead and take 2 cards out of the opponent's hand using Moulin Glacia's effect. We're going to use Anima plus Diva, moving on, to link summon to everyone's favorite extender, which is the only extender Water really has at the moment. And then Sprint is going to go ahead and send from our deck to our graveyard. And then that guy, Angler, is going to summon 2 of our beavers from our deck. This is kind of what our field's going to look like now. It's just a lot of monster spam. And you could technically kind of end off your combo here, but it's not that great. We're just going to keep on going and progressing. We're going to link summon using 2 beavers to summon this funny yellow guy, Bujinki Ahashima. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's a-okay. We work with what we got. And Hashima is going to special summon a level 4 water from our hand, as well as a level 4 water from our graveyard. And then we're going to immediately Xyz summon into your Bahamut Shark. And next we can use Bahamut Shark to detach a copy of Dragoons to go ahead and special one of your toads to this zone. And next we're going to use Dragoons' effect because we detached it to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect to add a Lapis Dragon from our deck. And Lapis Dragon, just like Snake Eyes Poplar, is when it's added, you can special summon itself to your field. So after this, we're going to go ahead and link off your Sprint plus Ahashima into an Xyz monster. Those 2 cards can't be used as link material, but this is an Xyz monster. It breaks the rules. It's incredibly fun to use. So we're going to use Lapis plus Moulin Glacia to kind of keep a Bahamut alive till the next turn to link summon into your Coral Anemone. Let's move this little guy over here and kind of reconfigure our field a little bit just by moving some space to kind of get an idea of what our field's going to look like. Next, what we're going to use here is use Coral Anemone's effect to special summon our level 1 substitution copy from our graveyard, and thus getting the level 1 into play. We can then use this guy's effect to detach the Sprint to summon our mandatory play all copies that you can ultimate rare copies of Swap Frog. That's kind of the card you want to play, so no more, no less. Gotta play 3 copies, only the ultimate rares. But we're not actually gonna use Swap Frog's effect here because, Ronin Token's banned. We really don't want to take our frogs out of our deck and put them into the graveyard. We can't help it. So from here, what we're gonna do, now I could be wrong, and you could absolutely do this combo a different way if I'm wrong. But if someone knows more about me and is a little bit more knowledgeable in the comments, can you use Substitute's effect if you have 5 monsters on the field, because you have to tribute for cost. So you would theoretically be tributing a monster before you summon, but can you even summon if you can't even attempt to, like, you know, have an empty spot on the field? Because if that wasn't the case, then what you would just do is before you use this guy's effect, you would just start tributing your shit to summon more frogs and then use his effect last. But that's just me. I could be wrong, and that's okay. But for the sake of the video, this is how it's going to be. Next, we're going to use Substitute's effect, tributing your gigantic sprite to the graveyard to summon another copy of your super awesome Swap Frog. And then from here, you can go ahead and use Swap Frog plus Swap Frog to summon your second copy of Totally Awesome. Isn't that great? So awesome. Next, you can use Substitute, tribute this guy to summon another frog. And then from here, you substitute tributing itself because it's really not once per turn. You summon your one extra copy of a frog. You know, dupe frog's probably the best option here because it can search, it does a lot of cool things. And then what you can go ahead and do is just exceed using both of those into your third copy of Totally Awesome. Zones suck so much, but that's okay. All right, so this is kind of what our field's gonna look like. We've got 3 Totally Awesomes. That's 3 different Omni Negates that can put 3 different water monsters in our graveyard back into our hands. So kind of with this field, what you could do is use both of these to kind of put like a Diva plus, you know, Dragoons. You want to keep Tidal in the graveyard here because it's just extra recursion. And then with this guy, you can go ahead and put himself back into the extra deck. So you can use this guy to summon himself and then search for like Megalo or something and start setting up for your turn killers the following turn, such as Appaloosa and IP Masquerena, Abyss Gaios, etc., to kind of apply pressure while you can't use the battle phase that turn. All right, let's go ahead and look into the second combo, you know, the one using the baby dragon, because the baby dragon is awesome. All right, so this is that second variation right here using Stream Dragon Ruler of Droplets instead of Tidal, and this is going to kind of do a very similar thing, but kind of way more cooler, because I get to show you how to get Tidal back in your hand so you can use his effect to pitch a water to dump any water from your deck. So let's go ahead and take a look into this one. We're going to use Stream Dragon Ruler of Droplets, discarding itself, plus your ultimate rare copy of Dragoons, foreign language, max rarity, to the graveyard to go ahead and special the strongest water monster of history, this guy, you know, to summon and go ahead and search using Dragoons, the strongest water monster of today, Diva. And we're going to normal summon that, use her effect to summon your prince from your deck. Doesn't this kind of take you back to 2011? Well, minus this guy, of course. Go ahead and move some stuff over. And then from here, what you can do is go ahead and use Neptibus's effect to send a copy of Dragoons. Pretty big deck. I'm so sorry it's taken a while. I'm gonna send a copy of Dragoons to add a copy of Dragoons from your deck to your hand. And then you can go ahead and use Dragoons' effect here. It's a lot of shuffling, but that's okay, to add a copy of Moon Glacier from your deck to your hand. I love that guy. It's pretty cool. What we are going to do is link summon using our Diva plus our Neptibus, and this is kind of, you know, very important, the zone placement. You know, you guys can take a look, kind of see where things are. Diva's in the middle, Tidal is under a link zone, and Neptibus can be wherever the heck he wants to be. You know, he's royalty. So we're just gonna go ahead and link off the Diva plus the Neptibus, which are sea serpent type monsters, which is very important. And what we're gonna go ahead and summon here is, you guys can take a guess real quick. If you guys guessed correctly, that is right. Akashic Magician. This card's a funny card. I used to play this guy during the Gumblar hand loop days. I love her so much. What she does is when she's link summoned is adds back any monster this card points to the hand. So Tidal gets put back in our hand. So this is kind of our starting play now. Dragoons, Tidal, and Moon Glacier. And if you can kind of see from here what's going to happen. So from here, what we're going to do is summon the Moon Glacier to like this zone or something, you know, take 2 more cards out of your opponent's hand. I don't care if they're playing Snake Eyes, it's fine. And then from here, you can link off the Moon Glacier plus the Akashic to go into your sprint. Now, like I'm saying, this is not the only way to play this deck. This is just a very fun way that, you know, is extremely fun. Like, that's the whole purpose. We're going to use Angler's effect to summon both of our beavers from our deck. I'm going to kind of run through this one because it's the same one as the first combo. Use both beavers to go into your Ahashima. And then this guy is going to summon your Dragoons from your graveyard and from your hand, and immediately Xyz summon them into a Bahamut Shark. And you can then use detaching a Dragoons to summon a Toad, and then use your Dragoons to search for a Neptibus from your deck to your hand. And you might be thinking, oh, hey, yeah, Droll and Lockbird, doesn't that card exist? No. That and Dimension Shifter, I don't know what those cards are. We just do not manifest those here. Now from here, we can go ahead and use Tidal now, discarding the Ineptibus, to send a copy of our Substitute. And then we're going to use the Prince's effect that we just discarded to the graveyard for cost to summon a copy of Dragoons from our graveyard. Now, if we had like some form of a level 4 extender, like instant fusion, ready fusion, etc., we can just make like, you know, Abyss Dweller, second Bahamut Shark, whatever the heck you guys want. From here, what we're going to do is use our Sprint plus our Ahashima to go into your gigantic sprite. Go ahead and tilt these sideways for this combo. I think it's more interesting that way because you can kind of see the names poking through. And then from here, we can use your Bahamut Shark plus your Dragoon to link summon into your Coral Anemone. Next, you can use Coral Anemone's effect to summon the Substitute from our graveyard. Next, we can use Gigantic Sprite to detach a copy of Sprint to start summoning your Swap Frogs out from your deck. Gotta play this card in Ultimate Rare. It's so much fun. And then you can use Substitute, tributing the sprite. So like, you know, summon out your other copy of Swap Frog from your deck. And then you can go ahead and use these two guys to Xyz summon into another. Totally awesome. And then you can use Substitute, tributing your Coral Anemone. And you know the whole process, right? I'm sure you do. Summon a copy of Swap Frog, use Substitute, tributing itself to summon a copy of Dupe Frog from your deck. And then to kind of end off this combo, we're gonna get Xyz summon into our final. Totally awesome. But besides that, this deck does a lot of cool things. And I just kind of wanted to, you know, show that. All right, so I gotta know, did I cook? Am I cooking? Is this gas or is this ass? I kind of, you know, want to hear your